Collected Tales of a Dublin Doctor. This podcast is a series of tales written by my father, Patrick Beaufin, and rediscovered in a file at the back of a press 30 years after his passing. Bring us back a parrot. I was sitting on the balcony of a hotel in Muslim North Africa, idly looking at the sunset. My companion, a well-nourished Englishman, who at home would give a terrible death to a half-bottle of brandy after dinner, was disgustedly sipping a glass of 7-Up and marvelling that the Gezira Palace Hotel in Benghazi could have a vast marble-floored bar where the choice lay among fruit juices, cola and 7-Up. He was interrupted by the high-pitched chanting voice of the mullah, amplified on the minaret of a nearby mosque, calling the faithful to prayer. The great cry of Islam. On hearing this, my companion asked me what I knew of the cries of his city, London. As I confessed total ignorance, he started what I knew from experience would be a very long and tedious dissertation. I let my mind wander back to Dublin, and the old sayings one heard there, crisp, pithy sayings, each encapsulating a period of our history, usually a time of poverty born with the fortitude of the real poor, who had little but their wit to sustain them. Dip in the dip and lay the herring for your da reflects the grinding poverty of the 20s and 30s in the tenements of Dublin, when a single herring, fried in dripping, and a loaf of bread constituted the main meal of the day for a whole family, with the proteinaceous herring reserved for the labouring breadwinner. Today, the phrase is used as a fun expression. The last time I heard it used was at a drinks party in the city by an overfed 35-year-old yuppie. As he speared a garlic mushroom and plunged it into the celery dip, he quipped, "Dip in the dip and leave the herring for your father." It was both a misquotation and an irreverence for our sad history. I mused on and thought of the Dublin women in the 30s and 40s, from the general area of Benburb Street, Queen Street, Stoneybatter and Smithfield, who used to gather on Queen Street Bridge, now called Mellows Bridge. At that time, Guinness stout was produced in the brewery in James's Street and transported in barrels on river barges to the ships at City Quay and the South Wall for export to Liverpool. The barges were dark blue with Guinness in gold on the transom, and each named after a district in the environs of Dublin. They were shallow, wide, and had a collapsible funnel so that even when the river was in spate, they could proceed under the bridges by dropping the funnel. They plied between King's Bridge and the mouth of the Liffey. They never saw the sea. As the women leaned over the parapet of Queen Street Bridge, they would wait for the barge and the bargemen, and, as it passed under the bridge, would cry out, "Mister, bring us back a parrot." Suddenly, that evening in Benghazi, I got an idea. I bought a postcard in the hotel lobby and addressed it to a friend in Dublin, a pathologist, a Dubliner who would understand my message, which read simply, "Mission impossible, pisticosis rampant." I posted it in the hotel postbox. The following morning when I came down to breakfast, I was ambushed by the worried hotel manager. He said, "We saw this card, sir. Did you post it?" I admitted that I had. He went on, "We just happened to see the message. What is this that you say is rampant in our country?" "Pisticosis," I said, "a disease peculiar to parrots." "But sir," he protested, "we have no parrots in Libya." I told him that I knew that. He looked confused, so I invited him to sit with me at breakfast. I told him of our city, the Liffey, the good women of Queen Street Bridge, the barges that never saw the sea, and the parrots that never arrived. He stood up and said, "El feda doctora. Is it one of your tricks?" I agreed, just one of my tricks. When I returned to Dublin, I made inquiries. My friend never received the postcard.